giant stalker, dragon stalker, crypt stalker, demon stalker, rift stalker, grom stalker, crypt stalker, scourge stalker, wind runner. I'm a pony, lead skill hunter, a death dealer, a life stealer. That's just the cost of being awesome sauce.
All right, welcome to episode 252 of the Hunting Party podcast. I am Darkbrew from thebrewhall.com and the Brew Hall on Twitter.
I'm Delirium from Thrill of the Wild and at Delirium Hunts on Twitter.
I'm Bendak from Eyes of the Beast, Blizzard Watch, and Bendak Wow on Twitter.
And I'm Foxy, here's a guest from Warcraft Hunters Union.
All right, welcome Foxy, and welcome everyone. So happy New Year to everyone. I guess we still okay to say that? I don't know what I know there's like a time limit on when you kind of Happy New Year fades out. Yes. I don't know how long it is, but it feels like it's we're beyond that date. But we haven't been together since before the New Year. So happy New Year to everyone. And so where are we? Today is Sunday, January 15th, 2017. And of course, we are broadcasting live on twitch.tv. You can participate in the live chat room where our lovely moderator, Ali Sonder, is there to take your questions. And Roger Brown, today Roger Brown will be played by Darkbrew, is what Ali said in the chat room. Yeah, Roger won't be joining us because he and his guild are raiding, getting one more final run of Emerald Nightmare in before Nighthold releases on January 17th. But we got a good group of folks here today, and we're going to talk about patch 7.1.5, which of course was released last week on January the 10th, and it was like the day the earth stood still, the day our lives were turned upside down. It was quite a set of changes.
Yeah, it was the release of two new hunter specs, benchmanship and bench mastery.
I saw that, Reefer. I liked the bench mastery. That's very funny. Someone posted an image of like a bench mount. That was for the hunter class. That's what our class mount is a bench.
Yeah,
yes.
It's pretty accurate.
It is, and I don't know when we want to fit this in, but because we gave Synth some images to just, we should probably put a warning before we post those up there before give all the hunters here just like a heart attack when they see how bad it is, and really just talking about the state of hunters. You know what? Before we do that though, because we know it's mostly sad news, why don't we talk about some, I guess, relatively good news and something I just almost forgot to include in here. And there's a new spirit beast that was added in 7.1.5 that everybody missed, apparently. I don't know.
On the PTR?
Yeah, I guess. When was it found out? Do you know when this was discovered, Bendak?
Yeah, it was a couple days after the patch. So yeah, everyone missed it on the PTR because probably all too busy complaining about mechanics.
But it's cool.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. Sorry.
What are you going to say?
Did you want to share, Bendak? Did you want to share what you named your pet?
Oh, I named it Boulder.
What did you name it? Dirt?
What?
Oh, you
You're
named
breaking out.
Oh, sorry. No, it's a spirit beast fox. I mean,
Oh, he's fate. He named it Mulder because it's a fox.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
But yeah, it is a new spirit beast. It is a fox, and I think the official name is Lightning Paw, and it's found in Duskwood. So I'm not surprised that people didn't find this on the PTR. I'm a little bit more surprised that people found it at all, given what's involved. It's one of these stealth pets in this essentially one of the early zones that exist in World of Warcraft in Duskwood, and I guess it's hiding in these bushes. So there's a lot of the bushes in that zone that have these glowing eyes, and it's stealth. But you use a flare if you want to kind of see if he's there, and then you can just go up and tame him. So I'm just wondering. I'm more surprised that someone actually did figure this out. And I don't know if we know who figured it out or how it came about, or was someone given a hint, or was this data mined information perhaps?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, someone posted it on Wowhead originally. They were just in the area and they just happened to hear like that stealth noise, and then they saw it, and logged onto their hunter and tamed it. Just completely by accident.
You're still cutting in and out.
So yeah, and I assume it was a a hunter then, or would the stealth noise go off for anybody that would go nearby it? So I mean, it just sort of sounds like a fairly random occurrence that someone would happen to be in that zone and you know, kind of the right place at the right time, you know, for, well, quite literally lightning to strike, so to speak. But has anyone else gone out and tried to get them? I've not had a chance to go out and look for them, but it's nice that they gave us a new spirit beast. It's always fun.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of spirit beasts. All the icons in my in the stables look the same now.
Yes. Yeah, I think I've got, well, I don't have everyone at this point. I haven't gotten the moose yet, and I haven't got this one yet. And I've got to free up stable space to do that, which is part of the problem. That there's nothing I really want to get rid of at this point. But I am playing more Beast Mastery now than I have been prior to in this expansion. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
Which is something we talked about a little bit last week when Roger was here, and he had mentioned that he was considering maybe not going full on Beast Mastery, but for certain fights in Nighthold, he was going to be looking to play some Beast Mastery over marksmanship. And so why don't we talk about 7.15 and the hunter changes that came, and we can talk about the changes that are coming up as well. But what's everyone's thoughts? Like Foxy, what's your experience been? Now, you were marksmanship before, right? Are you still marksmanship, or are you doing a little bit of both now?
Well, I've gotten both of them up past 35, both specs. I'll never play survival. I have not a single point in it. But I will tell you that Wednesday I logged on for raid, and I did Mythic EN, and I logged off, and I haven't been back online since. So that's how awful the experience was raiding. I just playing MM, that is. So I mean, I was switching back and forth to BM and MM during the raid, and it's just the new layout of the new rotation is horrid. BM is the next best thing to it, even being remotely fun to play the class right now. And I will say, out of the 9 years that I've played Hunter, this is the first time that I thought about leveling up my mage to play it. So, that's my personal opinion, and it's kind of opinion of quite a bit of the Hunter community right now. But they threw a couple of buffs at us. I guess we'll talk about that later, but I just don't feel like a damage buff is enough.
And how about you, Delirium? You were pretty much a marksmanship hunter through and through. You've expressed that you haven't cared for Beast Mastery all that much. What's it been like for you?
Yeah, so this past week I went ahead and grinded out some AP and leveled up my SV.
Your SV, wow.
Yeah, so I've now got it full as of today. And it's way more fun than I expected it to be, especially out just doing world quests, because you can zip around between disengage and the whatever the chain hook thing is called. I don't actually know. It's just fun to be so mobile. So it's a good time. I don't know how often I'll actually play it in raid, but I'm having the most fun playing it right now. Marksmanship, it's horrible. It's not great. It's not fun to play, but it's still more fun for me than playing Beast Mastery. I tried in a few Mythic Pluses to play Beast Mastery and just see if I could, get a feel for it or something, but man, it's so boring. I just do not like the rotation at all.
There's not much to do. And just trying it, there's a lack of buttons. And I got lucky. I got a second legendary, I think on that first Tuesday, and ended up getting the trinket. Let me see, what's it called? Like Kill Jaden's Burning Rush,
right.
or Burning something or other. So I got that. It's okay, but it's a non-use trinket. Kill Jaden's Burning Wish, which is going to get buffed apparently. I guess the damage is going to be increased by 55% in the next set of fixes. But it is an extra button to push, and even that doesn't really add much in the way of complexity at all to Beast Mastery rotation. And Bendak's having technical issues, but I've noticed one of the things that he brought up last week was sort of the pet pathing and with Hattie, and she's terrible.
Right.
You go to start the attack, and as he stated, she's doing the RP walk up to the boss, and you just feel like you're losing so much potential damage from her.
Yeah, and the blink strike changes in 7.1.5 made, especially AoE, is just so powerful. When you're just burned through the trash in dungeons and stuff, which is a big part of the time consumer. So that's nice to have, but man, you just don't do anything. It's like you see huge numbers, but it's not quite enough to make the spec worth playing for me.
Right, and you see huge numbers for sort of a part of the game where, or at least in raid, like for example, raid trash, who cares, right? I mean, you just want to get through it quickly, but other than that, you're pretty much guaranteed to get through it anyway. Whereas, you really want it on these boss fights is where you need it. But we were looking at, I mean, and we should point out, I don't know if this is probably a good time. You had gotten a couple of graphs of where hunters sort of fall relative to the other classes, and it's bad, right? I mean, we're at the bottom, like for the first time that I can remember in a long time.
Right, and these are, I mean, it's worth noting that everybody's cheesing right now. These are all for raids that aren't 7.1.5 raids, so everybody's who's this data is being taken from they're not on progression. They're pretty much done. So I imagine Beast Mastery is actually in a significantly higher place than it is once we get into Nighthold, because they have no movement restrictions or anything, and that little buff coming up. Marksmanship, I don't know if it'll be any higher, because there's huge movement restrictions to marksmanship now. So while you're learning the fight, it's going to be just as tough to play marksmanship as it is any of the traditional caster classes that have those movement penalties. So I don't know if we'll see a boost when we get to real content or not.
And I saw a blue post adding an 8% overall increase in damage for marksman spells, and that we need at least 15 to even be competitive right now. 8's just not enough.
Yeah, 8% seems small, but it was to a lot of abilities. I mean, it included Arcane Shot, Barrage, Black Arrow, Bursting Shot, Mark Shot, Multi-Shot, Murder Crows, Piercing Shot, Sidewinders, Volley, and the Wind Burst damage. So all those abilities had an 8% increase, but like I said, it just seems awfully conservative right now.
Well, I don't think that's not the damage in itself is not the problem here. It's the play style that people are having huge issues with.
Right, yeah, somebody's got to be on bottom. It's not the worst thing ever, as long as not all 3 specs are the very bottom.
Well,
we kind of are right now, but
well, I mean, the problems with sort of rankings too, right? Where you go from top to bottom. I mean, like I said, a lot of times you'll just see, you just glance at it, it's like, oh, this one's on top, and then you see who's on the bottom. But the gap between the top and the bottom matters too. And if it's small, or in other words, everyone could be doing 100% the same amount of damage, but because you're showing them in a ranked order, someone's always going to be on the top and someone's always going to be on the bottom. But we should state that that's not what's happening here, right? We're not doing the same damage as everybody, and someone just decided to sort us on the bottom. It's not a sorting issue. It's
right.
And I think the difference between the top and the bottom is significant enough that it needs to be addressed. And hopefully they will. Although I mean, it's a small start, especially with marksmanship, that 8%. But I guess the good news about being on the bottom is you can only go up, perhaps, and you're in a position to get buffed at least. But I don't know. I haven't really looked at much of the other classes to know who got nerfed, right? Like Shadow Priests show up on the top, and I think I saw that they were maybe taking a little bit of a hit somewhere.
Yeah, they're giving a nerf to their probably hardest to perform ability, which is kind of an odd thing to do. So right now they're strong all around, but they're really strong if you're very good at your rotation and very skilled. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects things. it's going to be a lower skill cap for the class. I think the affliction warlocks were really high, and I don't think I saw any buff or what's the opposite of a buff? Nerfs
Nerf
coming. And Havoc Demon Hunters do have nerfs coming Tuesday also. So we see some of the top getting a little bit of nerf, but a lot of that, especially melee and casters, have the problem of once they get into the progression rating, they won't be as crazy. Right now they can just stand there and do whatever they want. You don't really have to do mechanics or anything. So I don't think it'll be as spread out once we get into progression.
But getting back now to the mechanical changes, the rotational changes for marksmanship. So what exactly is different? And I think a lot of people played marksmanship in the beginning and got very used to the patient sniper, sidewinders, and got used to that rotation and that play style, and that's pretty much been ripped apart at this point. So what does it look like now, and what are the challenges with it?
Yeah, so basically they I don't know, just changed up the whole basis of the class so that you don't have the 3 stacks going up of vulnerability any longer. And it kind of took away a lot of the benefit of the Sidewinders Patient Sniper combination. And I think what made that so ridiculous, and what made Marksmanship Hunters pretty good through progression in Emerald Nightmare was just this ability to do this massive AoE while doing your max single target damage. So you were doing as much damage as you possibly could against the priority target and doing ridiculous mark shot, this buffed mark shot damage. So that was also a big change, as mark shot no longer benefits from vulnerability. And that kind of took away a lot of the benefit. It did receive a significant buff to kind of make up for it, but it's not part of that. I don't know, the rotation. You're getting Sidewinders to hit everything for 40 yards by 30 yards.
Right, and so Sidewinders then just sort of becomes this AoE ability, or I mean, is it? It seems like it's completely optional.
Yeah, I'm not sure
at
if
this
many
point,
people are taking it right now.
that people have dropped it.
It does do well if your targets are really spread out, because it still hits a huge amount of targets. But if your multi-shot hits a pretty good number of targets too, it's not a very tight cone that it's hitting. So I think most people are onto multi-shot, and you can use a lot of keeping vulnerability up a lot better without taking Sidewinders.
Yeah. I mean, are those the same issues you're having with it, Foxy, or what's your thoughts on it?
Well, right now, as it's the way that it looks to me, is they just want us to spam Arcane Shot. And you're gonna do that. When I was doing Ursoc, for example, I was doing that 80% of the time, spamming Arcane Shot, because that's what this new rotation is. You're using Motive Crows now. You're using Explosive Shot, which we really didn't use before, and Mark Shot only when Vulnerable was not up. And then there was a bug. Roger, I think Roger posted something that it's not marking targets correctly. I'm not sure if they fixed that yet, but it's completely spammy and confusing. It was just, I was like, this is not what they intend. I'm pretty sure this is absolutely wrong. But when I go through and I look at different guides, this is exactly how they're saying our single target rotation looks. It's basically spamming Arcane Shot. It's kind of frustrating, because it just took all the fun out of even watching those big AoE numbers go across the screen. That was fun for me. But now, without even using Sidewinders, you're now subbing that for other shots. And I mean, people are totally not even taking Sidewinders anymore because of that reason.
Yeah, I never thought I'd miss Sidewinders, but now I find I do.
I know we complained about. Well, I think the complaint was that there was no. It was just so important to the optimal build and rotation that there was no choice in the matter, right? If you were going to play marksmanship, that's the way you had to do it with those two talents in particular, and which kind of went against the whole idea of what they were trying to accomplish with some of those talents. But
Yeah,
it worked, right? And I don't know that we
right.
hated it necessarily. It got the job done.
We didn't hate it. It was boring, but it's went from boring to clunky and to it's really clumsy the way it works right now.
Right, I think we talked about this back last year when they announced some of the change to Patient Sniper, and now it is looking like for most raid encounters, Patient Sniper is probably going to be your best bet for the level 60 tier. And it's so much to pay attention to for so little gain. And it's like you kind of feel like you've got to do it because you've got to find some way to get DPS. We have so little right now. But there's just, you're constantly watching those timers and trying to line up the long cast time of aim shot to hit right at the end of Patient Sniper. Or, I don't know, it's a weird kind of mechanic that I think computers are better at than humans. And it's not really fun when you see somebody doing more damage than you when they're using a kind of cheat or a macro.
I was talking to Deba from Paragon, well, ex-Paragon, and he was telling me how the only exciting thing that he's gotten out of this so far is watching one of his piercing shots hit for about 4.5 million. But other than that, it's not fun. It's no other way to put it. It's just not fun.
And then I noticed, like, as you said, people are, trying to figure out different rotations and things. There was a rotation that was posted up on I guess the WoW forums or the earlier this week, which was kind of a little different. I don't know if I forget who posted it here in the chat. Was that you, Delirium, or maybe it was
I think
Bendak?
that was Bendak, but yeah,
one of you posted
it.
I don't know if you guys had looked at that or not, or if this was something that seemed, a reasonable way to go about it.
It's mostly a joke. It's funny that it's not as bad as you would think it is. I mean, it's not horrible DPS. It's not a huge DPS loss, but it's not for hunters who are paying their dues.
No, it was just sort of interesting. Sort of dumb things down a little bit. I think it took like aim shot out of the rotation entirely.
Yeah, that was the idea. No aim shot. Take anything else that'll give you a button to push to fill in time and hit lots of mark shots. Try to get as many mark shots as you can. So, it's a fun idea. I'm glad people are thinking outside the box like that.
Yes.
And it might, if your guild's only doing normal and you're, otherwise contributing, you're trying to do as many mechanics as possible, what kind of the old hunter jobs used to be.
Right.
Maybe this is something you'd want to do. And
I know,
have some fun, spam your buttons.
Yeah. I think one of the talents in there was Black Arrow. I never really viewed that much as a raiding talent at all. And I don't know the impact it has on some of the bosses and the mobs and things. Does it taunt away anything, or is it just fine to use in that kind of situation?
Oh yeah, it doesn't taunt there. In raids. I think really anytime you're grouped with a tank, it doesn't taunt. It's a weird mechanic I can't figure out, but it looks like it doesn't taunt off of tanks.
Yeah. But yeah, and so I guess back to one of the points you were making then, Foxy. I mean, so we know in the next patch, or I guess Tuesday, they're gonna buff marksmanship up by 8% across all these abilities. But let's say, and that's too low. But I mean, even if they were to just do something ridiculous, like I don't know, 20% or 25 or 30. I mean, that's really not solving that. It solves maybe some of the damage issues, but it doesn't really solve the playability issues that the spec currently has. I guess.
Right.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I'm alluding to. Yes, we do need damage. I'm not saying that's, they should just throw that whole, idea out of the water. But the way that the play style works as of right now does not work for somebody that's going to be raiding. I think it's just, I don't know. I'm not sure who pissed off the Hunter developers, but whoever it is, they need to kiss and make up.
I mean, should they just revert back at this point? I mean, is that really maybe the best solution? I mean,
I really
think a lot
doubt they
of hunters
will.
would probably appreciate the pre 7.15 change, even though it wasn't the greatest. It's still better than what we have right now.
And I mean, and I forget what I had them in the document at one point, and I forget what they are. The set bonuses, of course, we'll be getting the tier gear, and I don't even know if the set bonuses will
They
help.
got nerfed too.
Right, there's a huge nerf to the 4-piece.
So
Yeah.
can't win
I
for
don't
losing
know.
here.
Somebody has it out for us.
And I don't know. I haven't seen really. I've gone on the PTR, done any like the testing for Nighthold. Have you looked at? Have you tested any of those fights, Foxy? Have you seen any of those firsthand yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you'll be seeing it for the first time on Tuesday, and I just didn't know, how those fights mechanically
Yeah, I mean,
favor
the big change is
hunters.
there's a lot more priority target, single target than there was in Emerald Nightmare. So I think we're gonna see like kind of the worst quality of hunters right now is what's going to be emphasized.
It was kind of sad because when we had raid on Wednesday, we have 3 core hunters in our raiding group, me and 2 others, and my raid was like, now that we have 1.5 hunters, so we've been reduced to half players. I mean, it's so bad. But I imagine I'm gonna put my faith in the devs and hope that they go through and they read some of the comments and look at some of the suggestions and the data and make some sort of quality of life change for hunters, because it's taken a lot of fun for a lot of people. And I've actually, what got me the other day is I have a friend of mine that's like 885 item level or something or another, and he got kicked out of 3 pugs because his DPS was too low. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, that's when it gets scary, right? Is when you start seeing those types of things happening, or worse, right? Even even if we get buffed a little bit, you just worry about the certain specs or even the class getting that reputation that no matter what, no matter what content you're doing, people don't want to bring a hunter along.
Well, Delirium was right. Somebody has to be at the bottom, but the disparity is too large.
Yes,
definitely.
But then, well, of course, and so we know that's sort of the state of marksmanship. We've seen Beast Mastery low too. We haven't, but Beast Mastery is getting some changes as well. So we see Cobra Shot damage being increased by 46%. Chimera Shot, Barrage, and Kill Command all getting their damage increased by 10%. So, I mean, how is that? Where do we see that helping the spec? And I think Bendak, you're back. How do you see that changing Beastmaster or helping? I mean, 46% seems like a huge number for Cobra Shot, but I'm not sure that it did a lot of damage to begin with.
Yeah, we'll see if my mic works now. Is it?
It sounds much better.
Okay. So the Beast Mastery buffs, if you put them all together, it's pretty much the same buff as marksmanship. It's about a 8% increase to single target. So yeah, it's basically the same thing marksmanship is getting. So I think we're still going to be at the bottom. It just won't be that far on the bottom, The Cobra Shot buff is just funny to look at. Like, people see that and think, how hunters can be overpowered. It's like, well, that ability was only doing like 8% of our damage, so it's not like it's going to completely change the game or anything. And I think it's funny too that Barrage just keeps getting buffed. It's like the 3rd buff it's had in like a month. And like,
yeah, but it is bad for MM now though, which is even more funny. Like,
well, and for BM too, even though they keep buffing it, it's still no good for BM.
Right.
Well, I was going to say that
at the same place now. The buffs that it's received for BM bring it about in line with the mastery bonus that it gets for marksmanship. So it's about the same value for each spec, which is not very much because they took away the double damage for the priority target.
Yeah, but for BM, it's just not worth using because your focus is better spent elsewhere for the most part.
And I was going to ask about that because it's on the same line as Volley and a Murder of Crows. And I think Murder of Crows is pretty decent. Are you is that enough to choose Barrage over a Murder of Crows, or is it just, situational things? So you save it for heavy AoE or just not even at all for that either?
Well, I don't want to say never because I don't know all the Nighthold fights that well, but
Mm-hmm.
for now, it just seems to me it's like a Murder of Crows for rating and then Volley for Mythic Plus.
Yeah, on the marksmanship side at least. I don't know how much the mastery bonus to a Murder of Crows helps Beast Mastery, but we get more AoE damage from Volley and significantly more single target damage from a Murder of Crows as marksmanship. And so the only kind of niche for Barrage is if the targets are too spread out to benefit from Volley. So Volley's not that big of a circle at the moment that it hits. So if you have spread out targets, then you can't really get everything with it. Whereas Barrage, still hits everything in the whole instance. So that's kind of its only little niche where it'll ever be used, which is maybe never.
Yeah.
And with the buff to Cobra Shot, is it changing the way we look at some of the Beast Mastery talents now, or is there anything that's maybe a little bit more attractive? Chimera Shot, does this make Chimera Shot sort of something you want to take, or is it not help it enough? Or is Stomp still too good?
Yeah, Stomp's still too good. Chimera Shot, it's not as low as it was. It's decent. It's just lower. So still want to take it. I think it'd be interesting if maybe instead of just buffing Chimera Shot damage over and over, maybe they made it regenerate more focus or something. Just give it some other use. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. The buffs it's nice to see them. It's just, again, it's like marksmanship. You kind of needed to be like 15% to bring it to the middle. So I guess we're not going to the middle.
No, at least not through buffs, and we're not being brought there via other people's nerfs either, so yet. But it's possible too that they could be waiting for Nighthold to come out at this time and waiting to see what the performance is like as players progress through those fights, and then make some additional tuning adjustments. That wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing in the world for them to want to do, to get a more accurate look at what's going on with the current content rather than just relying solely on what they're seeing out of Emerald Nightmare.
Yeah, traditionally they always do a bit of tuning after that first heroic week, so they'll probably do that. So maybe we'll get lucky and get more buffs.
Right. So once you learn the fights on one spec, you can start playing a different spec once it gets buffed. Good times.
The guy Jaeger being Jaeger in chat says I have more faith than he does. I'm just trying to be civil, dude. Trust me, there's other things that I would like to say, but for the sake of being a good girl, I will not.
And how committed to survival are you at this point, Delirium?
I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's not good for any kind of AoE. It's kind of just stick to one target. It's really hard for me to adjust to playing in melee. I still find myself sometimes I just, the tank will move the boss just a little bit or get knocked back a little bit, and all of a sudden I'm just swinging at the air and didn't notice that I was supposed to step up. So, I'm not an elite melee player. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun. It's a new skill to learn. Maybe after, I've never really enjoyed playing any of the other melee specs, but maybe after this, if I can learn it on a hunter, then I'll have fun playing some of the other classes too.
The nice thing is the artifact gains, do allow you to catch up fairly quickly now. It's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be, but with the artifact knowledge, you can especially early on, like in the beginning, you can just boom, get like halfway through there, real fast.
At the beginning of the week, I had, I think, 2 golden traits on my survival talent claw, and it was not hard farming to get it up to 35.
No, the challenge in those situations is finding relics I think.
Right, yeah. Though nobody in my raid team needed him from either of the runs we did this week, so I could at least get some okay ones.
One thing I will say about BM since the patch is like the talent buffs it got and everything. It's really, really nice in Mythic Plus now. I mean, it already was, but now it's a lot better. It's like AoE damage is just insane right now.
Yeah, it just tears through trash.
Yeah. It's really fun.
And
Well, with
yeah.
the only time, so we talked about that kind of alternate build that something after image, I think was the guy's name who posted it in the Hunter forums. The time I had kind of played with a similar build to that was in Mythic Plus dungeons when you're doing really large trash pulls and trying to get pretty even AoE. Like I think we had, what was it? What did we have this week? I can't even remember it now.
Bowstring.
Yeah, where it buffs the. So it was actually kind of weird because we had the one where they run away from you at higher levels. So I don't know, that was a weird mixture. But yeah, if you get good procs for the vulnerability or for marked shots, marking targets, and you just spam your multi-target or multi-shot and your marked shot, you can do crazy AoE damage. It only happens every once in a while when you get really lucky, but man, it does a lot of AoE damage if you can hit all those marked targets. Probably not reliable enough to really base your Mythic Pluses around it, but it's fun to. I was running with a friend who was doing BM, and 90% of the time he was killing me on trash, but every once in a while I would just demolish, kill everything instantly. We also had a Shadow Priest with us who couldn't touch the trash. He would destroy us both on on boss fights, but he just didn't have enough time to ramp up to do any trash damage.
I think a lot of the hunters are in a state of shock right now, but I can't imagine them. I mean, the arguments are so loud. And when I say loud, I mean every forum that I look at, people are so passionate about what's happening to our class right now that I can't imagine that they don't make some changes within the coming weeks. I'm just trying to be faithful. I'm trying so hard.
Yeah,
I'm kind of skeptical to make mechanical changes and hot fixes though. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just wonder if you have to wait for 7.2 for that.
That's the thing. How long do we have to wait?
Well, I mean, they did say 7.2 was going to go under the PTR pretty soon, and that was something they did talk about at BlizzCon. Is that once one patch goes into production and leaves the PTR, that they were going to be pretty quick about getting the next one out on the PTR. And that doesn't mean it's going to be released anytime soon. Obviously, they're going to want to leave. I mean, we haven't even set foot in Nighthold yet. So it'll be, I think, a few months before we would expect to see 7.2 go live. But it does sound like it's going to go up on the PTR, so we can at least start seeing and having some idea of what those changes are going to be. So we'll know that very soon here, and should have time to give plenty of feedback on what can be done to change it. Although
there was plenty of feedback on this stuff, though.
I was just going to say, yes, exactly. I mean, giving feedback and seeing it implemented are two different things, unfortunately.
I mean, they made a big enough fuss about the artifact rank of your weapon being viable in PvP, and they reverted that the same day. So I mean, how much louder do we need to be?
Yeah, I saw that change that was coming. That was interesting to see. That's like, oh well.
Yeah, it went live and they changed it the same day. I couldn't believe that. I've never seen that quick of a turnaround.
One other thing worth noting, I think once Nighthold comes out, we will get to upgrade the legendary items and get the eye level up on those so that they stay competitive.
940, isn't it?
I think 940, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
Yeah.
good.
Don't remember exactly how you'll do that. Is there an item or something you'll get, or where you'll get it? But
You just have to collect items from bosses in Nighthold. Like
Mhm.
I think 30 of them or something like that. And
Oh,
Oh,
then
that's right. And I do believe they said they'd be available in all levels of the raid, correct, including
Okay.
LFR.
Hmm.
but it's a per boss weekly lockout, so
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry about doing LFR or anything like that.
So yeah, what
Yeah.
didn't they
I
say?
think
Emissary boxes as well.
Yep.
oh yeah, that's
Yep.
cool.
You can get it out of your boxes.
Oh,
And your
and
weekly
mythic.
mythic chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think new ones that drop on starting on Tuesday, they'll already be at 940.
Yes, I did read that as well, which was interesting. It's like,
And that's pretty cool.
it is cool, except like I said, I just got a second one last week, so I feel like it'll be almost time for 7.2.
I have 3 now.
By the time I see a third one, perhaps.
I do have 3 now. I got the helm the other day.
Yay.
Is the helm?
Yeah.
Which one is the helm? Is that
The
spec
haste
specific,
mastery.
or is
The
that
one where you feign death and heal yourself.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
not-
yeah.
I'm not getting any legendaries that boost my DPS.
Mhm.
I have all the bad ones. Oh,
Yeah, I guess.
correct me if I'm wrong. I think our stat priority changed from from Mastery Haste to Mastery Crit? Is that correct? Thought I read
Yeah, I
that
mean,
somewhere.
crit is a lot more valuable now. I think the value of haste went down a little bit as we're not using sidewinders as much. But the there's nothing except for mastery that's higher in value than agility now. So I think mastery is still ridiculously high, and I think you'll want some kind of similar numbers between the other ones. I think versatility for most people, if you're simming yourself, it's going to look really high right now in value. But once you get a little bit of it, so it equals out with some of your other secondaries, then it won't seem as valuable. So
Yeah.
a lot of people are getting, because if they were running mastery haste both over agility, then they're going to show their stats priorities being something like mastery crit versatility haste. But that'll even out once you get a little bit of other stats than mastery and haste. And yeah, crit
good
looks
thing
really
I'm a
valuable at
hoarder.
first.
Yeah, good thing I'm a hoarder and I have all of the high item level pieces of gear that I ever get. So I have lots of things I could switch out if I need to.
And I mean, did Beast Mastery stay the same this time though, or did that
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
too? Yeah.
Didn't change. It's pretty much eye level based for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, if you have gotten rid of some stuff, I'm pretty sure you can go back and just without having to put in a ticket and retrieve some of these items that you've deleted. That's always a possibility to go back and do that.
Yeah, item restoration. You can do it once
Mhm.
every 30 days, I believe.
Yeah. Because we do get a lot of gear, a lot of drops from those emissary quests and everything else you do, the world quest and everything else. There's a lot of gear, and sometimes those secondary stats, I mean, they were supposed to fix that, right, or make some adjustments so that the item level was going to be sort of a clear cut winner there, and I don't know how it's looked with this patch.
Yeah, I don't know. With especially like necks and rings, that has definitely not been the case.
Yeah, I haven't
Uh,
noticed that so far. I've just seen some items that have like a lower item level, but it'll have like 1200 mastery or something on there, and that just seems like a clear cut, usually a better option than some of the other stats on a higher item level piece of gear that maybe doesn't have mastery on it per se.
Yeah. It's still, anything with over 1,000 mastery, I would say it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. And I've definitely seen some necks and rings, along those lines. Those are usually the pieces that seem to matter more as far as the secondary stats, since it's pretty much all they are secondary stats.
Yeah, the Pride as an Ek is actually really good for BM now. Like has all 3 stats and then something like 3,700 of them or something like that. And it's even better than like the Beast Mastery bracers since they nerfed them.
See, I don't have any of those wonderful things that you guys talk about.
Well, I think one of my legendaries is the legs. Those aren't, that has the healing if you stand still. Those aren't great. Those are basically, I have those for the stats.
Yeah.
I mean, the trinket is at least DPS oriented, and now it's getting buffed, so we'll have to see how well that performs. But again, that too initially was like, well, it had some very nice stats on it, so made it worthwhile. But nothing like the belt, for Beast Mastery, for example. I'd love to see that.
They did nerf that a little bit.
Yep.
They did, and I think I had that in somewhere in the notes. I had put that in here. Yeah, it's called Roar of the Seven Lions, and Bestial Wrath reduces the focus cost of all abilities. It's, I think, 15% down from 20. So yeah, that did get nerfed a little bit.
Yeah, it ultimately doesn't really change much. Like the whole benefit of this belt is to fit an extra kill command into a Bestial Wrath. That's the entire purpose of the belt. And you can still do that with 15%. It's just a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
We'll see how this plays out, but man, it's really, really bad right now.
I think we need to end on a
Demoralizing.
slightly less suicidal note this week. Anybody got good news?
Yeah, maybe I should have saved the lightning paw for last instead of starting off with that. But
Yeah,
I
you
thought I'd
end us on a high, man.
I thought I'd soften the blow. But Bendak, you cut out for most of that, so I mean, you've actually gone and tamed it. How was it?
It's a pretty neat pet. It's you can't really trust the screenshots of it because it doesn't do it justice. It has a really neat like shimmering effect on its skin. It's hard to describe. It's got like 2 different lightning effects on it. I think it's pretty cool. It's but I went and flew over to Duskwood the other day, like after I got it, and every single bush had a hunter sitting in it.
Oh, is that right? Now, is it specific bushes
Wow.
that people have discovered, or is it just any kind of bush that has like glowing eyes, or is it specific ones? 'Cause I think in your post you might have had mentioned some specific ones.
Yeah, there's like a few confirmed ones, but I think more keep getting added in the Wowhead comments. So yeah, I think it's almost every bush that has the little flashing eyes on it. And I was just lucky because when it was first discovered, people just knew the one spawn point. And then someone had mentioned that, oh, it can spawn in other bushes. So I went back there. Like the second bush I checked, it was sitting there. So I just got lucky.
And all you had to do, I guess, was just pop a flare on the bush, and there it was.
Yeah, or just like track hidden helps.
help
You
too.
it's kind of like a rogue. Like you have to be close to it to see it, So same sort of thing. Track hidden makes your stealth detection a little better. So you kind of just fly around the zone, land in the bush, and then listen for that stealth sound. If you don't hear it, just move on to the next one.
Oh, hey, flying. Do we get flying soon?
I don't think that's coming until maybe, I want to say 7.2 for that, but I don't think it's part of this patch.
Yeah, 7.2.
No, this one just gave us like the micro holidays. I guess we'll have one of those coming up soon.
Yeah,
it's the bug
opening
world
of the scarabs.
Yeah,
that should be interesting. Just to see
I
what
don't know about
faction
that.
wins.
Not to be a downer, but I remember doing that. Collect like 1 million pieces of cloth. That was not exciting content.
I'm just curious to see which. I'm just curious to see which faction wins and gets their banner flown for the whole year.
Yeah.
What? Does the Alliance have any chance of winning?
I'm pretty
I
sure
don't know.
that's going to depend on
It's
your
region wide.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
not
what I
server,
thought. It was
yeah.
region, not server.
Yeah. And I think the population's fairly balanced region wide, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe,
I know of
probably. I don't know.
the hardcore players, they're generally Horde. But maybe stuff like this, the Alliance will pull something through. Who
Yeah,
knows?
but the hardcore players will be busy in Nighthold.
Remember the motorcycles where they tried to pretend like anybody ever voted for Alliance?
Yeah, we'll be so busy sitting on the bench right outside of Nighthold.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. That's a good point. We better focus on Garage, see what we can find something we can do.
We can all get together and just go solo HFC Mythic or something. Oh man.
But it is amazing. I mean, for as good as go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna ask the Cephas ring, isn't it better now?
Yeah, I got a little buff. So it's 25% haste instead of 15.
Yeah,
That's
and
And it
also,
pretty good.
applies to some other things like interrupts now count on it.
yeah, if you can reliably activate it, it's pretty nice. I don't know about
So I have
marksmanship,
that
but
ring now. I can take it out of my bank now and actually wear it.
It's got crit on it.
It's just been sitting in my bag. I forgot I forgot I had it because it was so bad. I guess I will replace it with one of my other rings.
Yeah, I don't actually know compared to like the healing helm, it might do better. At least it's a little bit of DPS.
Yeah, and that's crit, and the helm is haste mastery, so it might be a stat upgrade if anything.
You can you gotta tell your melee to stop interrupting though, otherwise counter shot won't get there in time.
I know.
Well, here's a question for you guys. With 715, Brawler's Guild's back. Brawler's Guild is back. Do you think with the new traps, we can actually be able to do some of the Brawler's Guild stuff effectively?
Just do it as SB.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh. I mean, well, BM has traditionally been the best spec for Brawler's Guild, right? Is that still true?
Right.
Not anymore. It's survival. I'm telling you, master race.
No way, man. No way. Oh my god, please don't make me have to put points in that.
I haven't even looked at Brawler's Guild, to be honest, so I don't know like what the fights are like, if traps are a benefit there or not.
Well,
Yeah, I haven't gone down and checked it out
another
yet either.
player that rank 1's pretty easy to get through, so at least the first 4 or 5 fights should be pretty easy.
And didn't they say too? I think there was going to be some like every now and then like a sort of like a major boss would spawn where everyone gets pulled in there and
Oh yeah, they did.
dukes it out.
It's not
That
a
actually
boss.
sounds pretty fun.
It's a toy that you can buy once you accumulate enough Brawler's Gold. I don't know the name of it, but when you get enough gold together, you can go buy a special item, which will suck people in.
Huh.
And apparently that's quite popular. So.
But no, I haven't checked out Brawler's Guild, and I haven't even really checked out the traps yet. I was going to ask if you guys have been using the traps at all yet. On the non-survival hunters, that is.
Yeah, like I said, I played for 3 hours last week, and it was raid, and then I haven't been back online since.
Well, every time I use,
I have to log on tomorrow because of raid, but
I'm so used to just bursting shot and slowing things, and focusing on that kind of kiting that it's hard for me to remember to use traps again. So I'll have to pay more attention to that and see if I can get it back into my rotation a little bit.
I was using Tar Trap a lot in dungeons, and every time I put it down, everyone else in the dungeon would be like, "What the hell is that on the ground? Can I stand in it?"
That actually sounds great. I'm gonna start doing that.
It's like this. It looks like you shouldn't stand in it. It's like this swirly black stuff. But freezing trap, didn't use it that much in dungeons this week because it was bolstering. So you gotta pull them far away so they don't get bolstered in the trap. But
Oh,
I imagine for some affixes that it'll be useful to have that again.
And I saw like a video out there with showed some of the animations and everything of the traps, and they look nicer. I mean, they've definitely improved from in terms of their animations and effects from what they used to be. So they do look like they're a lot more fun. I mean, I guess you Delirium have been like all nothing but traps now.
Huh. Well, yep, trap mastery. That's the new class.
they should just make survival a healer or a tank.
It'd be a fun tank the way it is now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if they could utilize traps into the what do you call the mitigation? Active mitigation?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the buzzword?
I would consider playing it if it was a tank, but I say
Some way to
consider.
split damage with your pet.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd
that
be
would
awesome.
still be weird,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That would
I
be
think it would
neat. Who
be better
knows?
than it is now.
Maybe the next expansion. Obviously, the hunters are going to have to get. They need changes now, and they'll probably most definitely go through another major overhaul, I guess, for the next expansion because they can't leave it like it is now for too
No
long.
way.
I've got a happy note to end this on.
All right, let's
Last
hear
time
it.
this happened to us, we were so low that when we got buffed in the next expansion, we
Oh,
were
we
on top, and it was really
everybody.
nice.
Yeah,
So
we did.
there's our happy news.
Yeah, I just don't
We
remember it
did.
being like this many. I mean, usually it's like there's always like one spec, like for a given expansion that was just down and out, and you didn't touch it. Like, I mean, we've seen that before, but I don't know if we've seen the class sort of be this mediocre.
Yeah, one spec is, that's expected. There's always going to be a spec that is just, that we can just totally ignore. But all three, dude, it's an abomination right now.
They really want you to play Demon Hunter.
No way.
But then again, to Ali's point, usually when the next expansion comes out, that one spec that was on the bottom, all of a sudden they focus on it and they buff it up and it shoots right to the top. So maybe all three will shoot up to the top in another year.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my God. No. Somebody asked me, they was like, well, Fox, you don't want to play your hunter right now, but are you still going to go to BlizzCon? I was like, me going to BlizzCon does not have any effect on me not wanting to play my character. I still go to BlizzCon no matter what.
That's right.
Yeah.
BlizzCon's more about meeting people and drinking. You're not actually going out there with a bow or a gun and a
Yeah.
pet.
Wait, what? I've been doing this wrong.
It's so cosplay, really.
Yeah.
I'm ready to
Yeah.
start planning for next year's BlizzCon.
Well, this
Getting
year,
pumped.
you mean?
Wait, yeah, this year. It's already next year.
Yeah, I've already started thinking about different things for BlizzCon this year. Like I'm like really over the convention itself, but I like going to do like the hunter stuff and all the different little side things, and I'll see
Yeah, that's
whatever.
what on one of the days. So we had a few people from the guild come that didn't get tickets, and so I lent. Everybody listening, don't tell anybody, but I lent somebody my one of my guildmates my badge, so they could go in during the day. And I just hung out at the house, and there were like 4 of us there, just sitting on the couch, eating leftover pizza, drinking beer, and watching everything on the TV. Like we just plugged in the cast to the TV, and it was so much fun.
And I'm
Especially for the
perfectly
esports
okay
part.
with that.
Yeah, it was great.
I had
Funny
two
if you can
roommates
get a
from
good
ours.
house.
And that is not a
I
bad
did
way
the
to
same thing
enjoy.
for them. So
That's not a bad way to enjoy the convention. In fact, in some ways, it's better because you don't have to walk from one venue to the other to catch a panel or something. You can just click and you're right there as soon as it starts.
yeah, this year I've pretty much decided that I'm not gonna buy a ticket because I think I was in there for a total of maybe 3 hours.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, that's why
I let
our
other
buddy
people just use my badge and let them enjoy it because I've been so many times.
our buddy Shoot, I think in 2015. Friend of the
Yeah.
show. He
Yeah.
did that. He got a room at the Hilton, and then didn't go to the con.
Yeah.
Just hung out at the Hilton.
Yeah, I remember.
And you really don't miss that much, especially now because it's so esports focused. So you're really
Right.
a lot of the time is spent just watching those competitions.
And since they've had our other friend of the show, Michelle, hosting the last few years, hosting the cast, it's kind of like you get to hear a lot more of her if you're watching the stream rather than there live.
I think they would have to, since they have had it so many years, they're going to need to try to reintroduce some new concepts to the format of BlizzCon to keep people going in. Because, I mean, like I said, I've been there 5 times and I really have no interest of going in there a 6th time.
Yeah, I'm not sure what all you guys saw this year, but if you up on the 3rd floor, they did the what do they call it, the Dark Moon Fair,
Dark
and
Moon
they had
Fair.
a
Oh,
few
that was
small
cool.
stages. Yeah, I thought that was the best stuff at the con. I mean, the
Yeah.
esports is fun, but it was more fun to watch on a TV, sitting around the house. It was kind of fun to be there, and I went
Just
to
chill.
the a couple of the arena matches, and banged those little balloon things together, sticks. And it's kind of fun, but it's nice to just watch it at home.
Mm-hmm.
But the upstairs stuff was pretty cool. They had a very technically oriented small kind of talk with just a few of the developers that were not game developers really, but like the technical coders. And it was really cool to just kind of have that small talk with those guys, and pretty much anybody who wanted to got a chance to ask questions. It wasn't like there were thousands of people lined up. So there's a few cool things they're doing with the con that still make it worthwhile, but for the most part, it's about drinking afterwards.
Yeah, that's all it was. So when's when are we going to go drink? That was the thing.
All right. Well, I think we've killed a good hour here today, so I'm gonna say we wrap this up for this week, and we'll come back in a couple more weeks, and maybe we'll see how those buffs pan out, and maybe we'll have some another hot fix thrown in there between now and then. But on that note, you have been listening to episode 252 of the Hunting Party Podcast. I'm Darkbrew from thebrewhall.com and the Brew Hall on Twitter.
I'm Delirium from thrillofthewild.com and at Delirium Hunts on the Twitters.
I'm Bendak from Eyes of the Beast, Blizzard Watch, and Bendak WoW on Twitter.
And I'm Foxy from Warcraft Hunters Union.
All right, check us out on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, or at our RSS feed to your reader, and we'll have all these links available in the show notes.
If you have a question or a topic you would like us to discuss on the show, email us at huntingpartypodcast@gmail.com or send us a tweet at huntingpartypod.
All right, stay thirsty, my friends, and remember to drink your Dark Brew Lager.
Siempre está la emoción de la salvaje.
Keep your eyes on the beast.
Go to BlizzCon.
Pretty much over you.
All right.
All right, well, hopefully it gets better. Otherwise, maybe next time we're here, we'll be announcing this as, welcome to the demon hunting party.
Well, they got drunk too.
We'll see what
They
happens.
did, yeah, so no, that'll never happen.
Hopefully, I don't know. We got predictions. Is this going to be a week-long world first race, or is it going to take a couple resets?
Oh, I think
Well-
this is gonna be maybe just a week.
Maybe just a week?
You think Nighthold will be that easy too?
It has
I don't
been
know.
for several,
No.
for quite a while.
Unless
I have
they
a
make
feeling-
the tier sets that much of an important thing for this raid, then no, I don't think it'll last longer than a week.
I'm hoping for at least a week and a half, but
Mm-hmm.
Blizzards drop the ball so often that I don't have much faith in them.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. I was
scheduled-
hoping it'd be longer than Helya at least.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I wasn't necessarily expecting Trial of Valor, the 3-boss raid to take long at all. Although, I
Right.
mean, it doesn't take
It
much
took
to make.
longer than Emerald Nightmare, didn't it?
Did it? I would say, you are
It did,
talking
yeah.
about, making these boss. It's not the entire raid. It's in these individual encounters that make it challenging, I guess. But
Yeah.
Right, and we are expecting a surprise phase at the end of this one instead of the very lackluster ending of Emerald Nightmare. So I think we'll have, I don't know, some interesting things to hear about in the next podcast. We're scheduled to be back the week after Mythic comes out, right?
Yeah, so we'll just jump to our every other week schedule. So it'll be the 29th is when we come back now.
Oh, okay.
29th. Okay.
Oh, if that's
Yeah.
the case, then next week on Saturday, the mini holiday for Curse of the Scarab, or whatever it's called, does open. So if you have any interest in that,
That's next
And
week.
how long does that one last? That last a week? I mean, that or
it's like 3 days.
3
I think.
days? Okay, I knew there were supposed to be obviously mini holidays, some as short as a day, but I thought this one was like at least it was
Starts
multi
on
days.
Saturday, ends on Tuesday.
Okay.
Well, 2 a.m. So till more or less Monday night.
Did you guys talk about the set bonuses when I was gone?
No, we didn't really get into that much at all. We can
We
add a
just
few more
kind
minutes
of-
if you'd like to.
Sneak it in, Synth.
Yeah.
No, I'll have them hopefully by the next time we're here. So
Yeah, we
can
just
talk
kind of
about it a little
talked
more
about
in
the
depth.
fact that they got buffed or they got
nerfed,
nerfed
yeah.
before they went live. So
Well, the Beast Mastery ones, it was a pretty big change because they were practically useless before, and now they're actually decent.
So what did they change for Beast Mastery then?
This 2-piece bonus, whenever you're in Beast of Wrath, Dire Beast damage is increased by 50%,
Mm-hmm.
and that includes Stomp, so that's what makes that one pretty good.
wow.
And then the 4-piece bonus is when you use Dire Beast, it reduces the cooldown of Beast of Wrath by an additional 8 seconds, so 23 seconds total. And that one's pretty nice.
That is nice. So they changed the set bonuses completely at some point? Because I remember we talked about them not long ago, and we just sort of unless
They
it was the mark.
reversed them. They reversed them. The 2-piece used to be the 4-piece, but then they changed them a bit. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, they're not like incredible, but they're definitely worth getting.
Yeah,
That's good to know. That'll, help some people decide to maybe play BM until they fix MM.
Yeah.
And not disregard the class completely.
don't do it, you guys. Play
Yeah.
SV. I'm telling
And,
you.
and even though I know LFR is staggered with the releases and comes out later, but I think you can get those set pieces in LFR. And I
Oh, right.
don't know if they're going back to the way the world bosses used to be, where you could get a couple pieces off them. I want
I
to
don't
say
think so.
I don't think they are. I don't think so.
Aw.
But
but I
there
always
are
like that.
6. Did we say that? There's 6 now.
Yes.
So it's easier
Yeah.
to get the 4-piece and change out what else you can if you've got some high level pieces from off slots.
Yep. That's true. Yeah, it's still a 4-piece bonus, but there are more pieces to the set, as you say, 6. That way, if you've got those legendary items, you don't really have to. Likelihood of you having to sacrifice one of those for your
Right.
set bonuses
I-
is negated.
Yeah, marksmanship, it's going to be a really hard choice on those 4-piece. If you get just a little bit higher eye level on some off slot pieces, then it's likely the 4-piece will be dropped. But
And the other 2 pieces are what is it? Cloak and neck. I think. I want to say
yeah,
cloak for
Yeah.
sure.
chest, hands, head, legs, shoulders, and cloak.
Okay, cloak. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it used to be 5. So it used to be the main 5, and now it's 6. No neck.
That's good then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
so-
trinkets, I'm not sure what's going on with those quite yet, but there's one that has a cooldown reduction. I'm guessing that one's pretty good for MM because it reduces True Shot.
Yeah, that's anything that reduces that is good for MM.
Right, and that's what we thought was going to be happening, is everything would be based around reducing true shot as much as possible.
Mhm.
But then they changed everything, and that extra
Yeah.
haste isn't nearly as valuable anymore. So,
Yep.
I don't know, maybe once you stack everything up between the legendary and the 4-piece bonus, then you can get some of that.
Whole beans.
All right, y'all.
I guess that's it. Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, and hopefully, good luck in Nighthold this week, whatever spec you're playing, and hopefully you'll get some early set bonuses, and we'll talk about it next time.
Life stealer, that's just the cost of being awesome sauce. A dues payer, a boss slayer. I rock out with my lockout Viper to cheetah to dragon hawk. No time to waste, cause I can jump shot. BM, MM, and SV. I can rock out any tree. Never worried about my threat, cause I've got FD and misdirect. Catching loose mobs in my traps. I never miss, cause I am hit capped. Cause I'm the hunter, not the marked. I'm the fighter, not the spark. I'm the kiter, not the kite. I'll top the meters every fight. Rated in the cave, dealing death. Just me, my gun, and my trusty bed. Now let's begin with Illidan, Osirian, and Gil'jadan, Magdamar, Asgalor, Gruul, Cthulhu, and Razorgore, Onyxia to Ragnaros. Which one have we killed the most? Kel'Thuzad to Malagos. We even killed a Kama's ghost. Feels like we're getting close, all that running as a ghost. Yogg-Saron, Thorian, Sartharian, Magthuridon, Saphiron, Lucifer to Sulfuron, Archon, Amalon, Coromon, and Algalon. The faction champions, the death toll rolling on and on. Garvale, Executus, Chromagus, Jarexus, Molnur, Kilthus. We won't stop till we kill our boss. I'm a hunter.